I'm going to go over 3 tickers, AMD, Palantir, and Bloom Energy. Thank you to Trade Marat for pointing out these tickers. He says it's a great buying opportunity, and I want to take a look at it and see what is happening. First up is AMD. We ended the day at $200.19, down a whopping 17.31%. This had the highest volume traded, so that's why I also want to start off with this one. Now, we just had earnings, and the company reported $10.27 billion, and the estimate was only $9.67 billion. So they exceeded all expectations, and then they got clobbered. So we ended the day right here. To the north side, I'm going to give you price targets. This used to be an old price target that I marked out at 210.31. And above that, well, actually, let's mark out the middle of the trend line first. All right, let's put it right there. And above that, this gap forms at 218.67 because we gapped down. So whenever we reverse course, it will fill to the upside. And then this is one level of resistance, 234.86, a potential take profit area. This gap closes out at 241.85. Above that, another level of resistance, 247.12, and down the road, $258.72 to the south side, because there is always a south side, 186.11 for even a bigger pullback, 173.79, and don't say so, but 161.61. That would be cratering from where we are. Now, looking left, you can see we were at resistance here. That lined up with the RSI, and look what happened. And then we were just grinding sideways over here. Okay, let me move this over to the daily time frame. Okay, ignore all the horizontal lines. It's been forever since I've taken a look at this, and I've tracked this, and I also own it with Marat, and we have many gaps to close up and fill, and then gaps that will take us even farther down. I should say. All right, this gap closed, and that took us down to 208.87. That was an anticipated move, as well as here. And did it touch before that? So, yeah, let's just give it a win there. That took us down to 206.53. Here are some areas I've marked out right there at 205.63. So when I pointed it out, those were retracement areas. Took a while, but I have to go through and clean up all of these gaps, and I'm not going to bore you, but just know there are many more out there. These landmines are filled to the south side. Let's just delete that. I don't know why that's sticking out. Well, actually I do, but okay, and let's just get rid of this one because that's done. And then we have one that will take us to 142.80, marked out. This is in 2025. That'll take us to 138.41 over here, 116. Now, I bought in a long time ago at $76.45 and $73.88. My buy-in lines are the hot pink lines. The light pink lines are when I sold. I've never sold this ticker. I am up still 162%, and I could have been up way more. And that's the problem with just letting things ride. And I wasn't really worried about selling out. And maybe I should have. The 52-week high is $267.08. Wow, that is crazy. See, look, I've been tracking this since with Marat here, 93.89. Here's 93, yeah, 93.89 and even 73.88. Well, I guess that's when I bought, and $76. I was just lucky. Okay, and now let's flip it back to the 5, and I want to say one more thing about this, which is, oh, I looked at this just for price on Friday, January 30th, and it was $236.73, and now we're at $200. Unreal. Let's move that right there. Well, actually, let's move it up. Okay, the next one I want to go over is Palantir. I just did this one, but today it cratered even more. So that's why, oops, he says this is a buying opportunity. PLTR, boom. Okay, I've traded this many times, but let's give you price targets first. 139.54 to the north side will take us there. Let's delete this line that I drew in 2025. Okay, I don't need any of these lines. It just shows you where I've marked out some key areas. Resistance, 156.40, 162.52, and 168.81. I own these in hot pink, and we have cratered, okay? So I'm down on the lots that I bought here, but I'll show you why I'm still up in just a second. Now that to the south side, a buy-in area, 131.90. Below that, back to an area we've been, 125.87 and 120.08. Now, this gap that I just talked about one day ago filled, so that is done. Congrats if you went short. And I'm going to have to go to another the daily time frame for you to see all of this. But this, what did this? Okay, that's also closed. Delete, delete. You know, I could have gotten out on these areas where I bought for a higher price, but I didn't. That needs to be cleaned up right here. Okay, let's go to the daily. Because I did not do that when I looked at this. Option R. Okay. So we are at 139.54 right here. We hit almost this line, which is a buy signal, and then we went up. So 139.54, and all these gaps have closed, which I need to clean up. Now, the gaps that you have to be careful of, the landmines will take us to 120.88. I mean, it's going to take a while, and don't think it can't get there, but there's also plenty of upside potential as well. 110, oh my gosh, and then all of these gaps down here that I have not talked about in years. I don't know if we're going to get that low. That'd be like asking Microsoft to get back, Microsoft to get back to these levels. No way, Jose. Okay, so, oh, I bought some more down here when there was the fake news. Okay, oh yeah, so while we're down at this level, so I own at 67.70 and all in this level still. I am actually up 720.59%, even though we are down today 11.62. I've talked about this ticker many times with Marat, who's pointed out some things for me. Now, back to what do I want to do with this one? Oh, what is the 1-year price target? That's what I want to know. 192.77. So tons of upside potential. And then after that, $260. That is why I'm hanging on and haven't sold any of the really cheap lots that I bought. The other stuff, I don't care. The higher prices, I'm swing trading those. But this is why it's so important if you're just starting, to set a stop loss, and I am horrible with that. I actually never do it, but that can take out your account so fast. All right, so that is Palantir, and what? Oh, here it is. Okay, and what else? I think that's all I want to say about that. I forgot to tell you what the 1-year price target with AMD is. Let me look very quickly. 289.84. And the high was again 267.08. Now let's go to Bloom Energy. I have not looked at this ticker in forever, and I kicked myself when I looked at this after Trader Murat mentioned it. Okay, and I'll show that chart on the daily so you can see why sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith and just buy stuff you don't even track or know because other people are doing the research for you, including all the institutions. All right, that is resistance. 151.23 to the north side. 168.82 down the road. 177.52, and then way down the road, 186.61. And to the south side, 133.84, 124.94, and 116.15. Earnings is coming up on February the 5th. So look at that. Bounce right off of support, sell off at resistance. Oh, and we have a gap here on the 5. I will fill this one in. It's getting a little wonky here. There are many gaps and opportunities to the south side, so be aware of that. There's a pullback, but there are going to be even bigger pullbacks because the chart says so. When, I don't know, you have to take that one day at a time. And then we have a gap all the way down here for 86.96, and then here for a pullback at 77.47. So watch out for that. Great if you're going short and you like to play it to the south side. Okay, on the daily. Option R here. Okay, we are here, and the RSI is starting to go down. So this is the target. Let me just mark it out. 118.90 and 108.97. Then we have that one closed. Oh, we've got a gap that will take us down to 54.93. Who knows if we'll get there, but we very well could. Actually, yeah, look at this. I don't know if we're going to get down to 29 bucks. Okay. Let's just for giggles, since I'm here. That will take us to 59.73 and 55.78. Let's just mark that one. Or, well, 60 bucks. Close enough. That's why I say about. Okay, now look at this. I marked that yellow line in 2024. Okay, and check this out. I have been tracking this thing since $16.88, and today it is at $147.35. And look at this, like just opportunities that I was aware of and did not. You know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to show you. So had I bought in, let's just leave it right here. And let's do the settings. So if I bought in at 16.88, and today we're at, even though we've gone down, 147.35, that's a $772 gain, percent. Unreal. So congrats if you made some money off of Bloom Energy. And as you can see, this was institutional basing here, this basing, consolidating, going sideways, barcoding. And whenever you see that, I tell you, I've seen it so many times because I've looked at thousands of charts, thousands of them. And when you see that, there's typically an explosion to the upside, and that happened right here. All right, that does it for me. The next video I will do, I'm going to check out, let's check out SMCI maybe, just because it ran up 13%, whereas AMD dipped more than that. And then also I want to do MSOS, a trade I took part in today, actually sold it twice. All right, that does it for me. Thank you to Trader Murat for pointing out those tickers. Have a great trading day.